Hi, Patrick here with the IFC Midnights. That's right, we're back. Well, you didn't, just because we didn't show up in December didn't mean we weren't coming back in January. Welcome to the show. Our hostess for tonight is Mary Wilson. And Mary Wilson, why don't you tell us, why don't you take over the show and lead us into the valley of our house.
Well, it was made in 2018 and it's PG-13, which, I that's okay. You can watch it with the kids. And it was made in Canada. I don't know where though. It looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It was.
It was
I,
very.
I miss the trees changing down here. You don't. It's constant spring. And who was in it? Percy Haynes White wasn't one of the guys in it in the Halloween movie.
I think Thomas Mann was. He was in Halloween Kills. He was one of the flashback, the
Yeah,
younger
that's. I don't know.
Frank
He looks really
Hawkins.
familiar.
Yeah,
And
he actually looks sort of like Michael Angrano. Thomas, man, he looks like that's who he looked like to me anyway. He looked like a he could be Michael. I'm probably saying his name right, but Michael Angrano. Um, that's who he looked like to me. But he did a nice job.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like the kids did great. And it says that Kate Moyer, the one that plays Becca, she was in the new Children of the Corn movie,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
I've only seen parts of it. It's pretty good. I liked it. And you can watch this movie on Tubi with ads, of course, but Tubi's the best.
Yeah. That's where I watched it at.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's PG-13, but it was still kind of creepy, I thought.
Yep.
It's
Definitely
I
was.
thought, yeah, I have a copy of it.
Okay.
And
Oh, I have a copy. I had to.
I got mine. If like I used to go to the movie store, and the staff there used to save the IFC movies for me.
And
And
it's so hard to find now.
oh yeah, they're really hard to find. um, but when I walked in to do my normal weekly run there, my friend, she was there and she said, the clerk said there, says, "Hey, guess what I got?" Uh, Ashley, and Ashley says, "Look what I got." And she showed up the movie. He says, "I rented it. I took this home and watched it. It's so good. It's so good." And I'm gonna hold it. I already got a hold on it for you. So come back next Friday. I'll have this for you. And they just got it in. They didn't have it in even 2 weeks, and she turned around. She sold it to me. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I miss those days. I miss
Yeah,
those, I miss those days.
we can't even go to the store. Well, Walmart here still has movies, but the other places, I guess, are getting rid of them.
Hi, everybody in the chat. Hi, Katie. Hi, Kevin, Eden, and Mike from the UK. Hi, how are you guys? How are you guys doing?
Hopefully
Uh,
warmer. Warmer than you
Probably.
guys, anyway.
Well, California is probably the warmest of all, right?
It's 50 degrees here.
Okay.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what's the same. That's where you're at, right, Mary?
yeah, I'm at 55.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to
Um,
drop probably to 50. That's it.
Heat wave.
Yeah,
Um, you mentioned about this movie being PG-13, and I know when you picked this out, I knew it was PG-13.
right.
We've already covered a couple of movies, a few movies that they've released PG-13,
I
and
think
it's
The
so
Harvest was one too.
and so was yeah, and so was the Vigil. The Vigil is PG-13. Um, I, it's funny because most of the time, I don't know how you guys feel, but most of the time, like that new movie Night Swim came out this month from Bloomhouse, and everybody just is crushing it. They're saying it's just there's nothing scary about it. It's just jump scares. There's nothing scary. There's nothing disturbing about it. I gotta say, see if you guys, maybe it's just me being a slappy, and if so, you guys can call me out on that as well. But boy, I think that the PG-13 movies released by IFC Midnight, they pack a lot. They pack a punch. They're not just jump scares. They pack a punch.
They're trying
I
to
mean,
get you, like you said, get you for the money, get you full effect for it.
I
The
mean,
PGs.
yeah, there's definitely some disturbing images in this one as well. And honestly, I really didn't think there was that very many jump scares at all, which I think really worked for the film.
There was one that got my husband. He was getting upset with her in the tub.
Oh yes,
Mm,
yes,
yeah.
It makes
that was,
everybody all itchy on that one. Like, oh,
yeah, that's true. That's
ew.
true.
So
Um,
they're showing their beautiful town. Is it Sunset, I guess? And the record player, cool record player, and the kid's fixing it for the dad because he's so handy at fixing everything. And they're sitting around the table, and it just seems tense sometimes because he wants to go to test out his machine. Where is he going to test this? Like,
he's breaking back into the science lab.
they don't go to college there,
Well, they do,
or
but I think they do, but they're after hours. It's like
Basically, they didn't get the approval to be doing this testing that they're doing. I think.
I feel like that part didn't really make too much sense because no one in a college is like, don't do experiments here. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't have that.
I don't know why he wouldn't get a chance to test it any other day, that he was at school.
I think part of it too, they were keeping it secret. That's what I think. That's the reason why they're doing it like that, because they didn't want anybody to see what they were doing.
Or to steal their idea.
Right.
Also, no good reason why they couldn't have just done it at his house, like during dinner or whatever, like right after dinner. It's not like they had special power over at the college or whatever.
Yeah, they wouldn't have. Yeah, I mean, maybe they felt because the college had stronger power grid, because we saw what happened.
Yeah, he was saying it did.
Yeah, he's saying that they had more of a more power to draw upon, and that's probably one of the reasons why they did it as well, because they were just working out of a house. I mean, and we later on we see exactly what the machine does to the power at the house. The house just can't handle it, and I think he already figured that out, which is why he took it to the college. That's just how I saw it.
But he sort of had the same amount of the same result at home than he did at the college before the circuit went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think they were expecting that. I think it was like, here they were, they juiced it up, and here they are. It was amazing how much energy that machine took. And you got to give credit one thing right off the bat too. That machine looked cool as hell.
Yeah, it's like
I was like, and then I thought the machine looked really good. I was like, wow, I could see that thing actually opening a portal between death and life. It looked like it could do it. It was pretty fun. Had all
well,
the
it would be nice if it did work.
No, yeah.
The electromagnetic induction.
I mean, that's like not really a new concept or anything. I'm a dude. I make prototypes for a living, so like, the machine didn't really wow me. But if you can't really think too much about the reality of the situation in a movie like this.
No.
Suspend your belief.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
I did like that it had like a little CRT screen on it, as opposed to touchscreen stuff.
He had little knobs.
Mm-hmm. It looked legit. It's really. I'm sitting there watching. I'm looking at the machine. I'm going like, man. The only thing I was waiting for them to do was sit there and say, "Beam me up, Scotty." It looked pretty cool.
Right.
When the little sister's a swimmer, that's why they were upset. Did she have a swim meet? or something that they wanted him to go to, and he had to go that night to test out his machine at the lab.
Yeah,
So-
he had actually gotten home and basically just gotten home from for spring break, and that was his very first day there. And he turned right around and he's going out with his friends again, and that's what really was upsetting the parents. It's like, he just got here from college. Why don't you just stick around and hang out with us for a while? And then they just they said, well, I think that's because I think that's one of the reasons why they had a race to the university, back to the university, because they were on a timeline. They were trying to get in there and use the college. He did try to
Yeah, no
explain.
one was in the lab at that time, so that's when he was gonna.
I think that might have been because it was spring break, and that's one of the reasons why they went at night as well. There was nobody there on the campus.
That's true.
Hi, Anthony. Hi, Betty. How are you? Glad you're here. We are talking about Our House, the first IFC Midnight show of the year. A very, very, very good movie picked up by our own Mary Wilson. I thought the one thing right away that you saw right away, and that was the family was very tight knit. You
Right.
did see that. You did see that.
Yeah.
She would change the calendar with her mom. That was their
right.
little thing they
Right.
did.
One of the things I liked about it though was that the family the dynamic felt real because they were not exactly tight knit. I mean, like the younger boy was like, kind of like had a weird, like had a fucking dickhead attitude, as people do at that age or whatever, So I mean, to me, they weren't just like, oh, lovey-dovey,
No, but they were close. I mean, you could, the fact that the dad would take the oldest son aside and sit there and say, hey, we want, you just got here. We want to spend time with you, instead of being, most parents with their kids come home and they're like, hey, mom, hey, pop, and then put their, then, okay, I'm going to go out with my friends. Okay, you guys be careful, and then let them go. The pop went to him and said, hey, we want you to stick around a little bit. You got time for the other stuff later. You just got here. Hang out with us for a little bit. And as we see with the middle brother, you're right. I mean, the middle brother is always getting it, it's like, because he's the middle. But
I like him.
I like him too. I really enjoyed his performance.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he provided a lot of heart to this movie.
For
A
sure.
lot of heart. Yes, I definitely did. He and he really loved his sister. He loved his sister. He loved his brother, and he loved his family. There was none of that teen rebellion, like whatever. Like he
a little
missed.
hint of it, but
Well,
I
he
think
missed.
it was just being a teenager and tired all the time.
I mean, he really
being
missed
bummed
his mom
out.
and
He didn't want to be awake.
He was really into his video games with his buddy.
Yeah.
So. I did notice one little fun little clip where his when he was told to help out in the kitchen, and then the sister sat next to his friend, and then how I guess they're playing Call of Duty, and then all of a sudden you see the middle brother's character get killed, and they did a Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. That was a nice touch.
Do you know how to play? Nope. That's what she
And
said.
then you hear him get killed.
So she could probably play her butt off. Yeah, so they went and they hooked up this weird light bulb in the vise and spun their record thing, centrifuge, whatever it is, EMI, and had some weird smoke popping up in the light bulb.
Mm.
And then everything went black. And that's when they ran out. Shit. So they weren't supposed to be in there. Like, we're in trouble now.
Yeah. Shit.
Pack up. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
when they showed up there was other students there, right? That were sort of teasing them.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't. That part didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like why they would be in trouble. You know, there was clearly other people there and stuff.
Just blame them.
Yeah.
Just say, hey,
I didn't do anything. They were in there. Well, the next morning he's laying in bed with Hannah.
Hannah.
Her name.
Yep.
Hannah. Very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still trying to figure out why the shit went boom. And he gets a call from Matt, and he's crying his eyes out. And he says, yo, you got to get home because somebody crashed in front of Mom and Dad. And that's when I guess he finds out. Now, where was the sister? Were they driving back from the swim meet? I mean, they had the sister in the car, or
that part didn't really make sense to me either, because it was like they didn't.
Where'd they go? Where were they drive? He's like, it's your fault that they left if you were here. But why is that? Because why'd they leave? What?
I don't know where they. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it didn't.
That was the
really,
only part I was like, huh?
Yeah, they didn't really define that too well.
I thought she had a swim meet, so that would mean that she would be in the car then with them when they crashed.
You would think.
But she came out with no damage when
she
came out of the house, and
Right.
the old lady neighbor was watching her. And
the
middle brother, he's plenty old enough to watch her. But
I didn't
there
get
was
that
nothing
part
on
too.
him. Nobody was cut up or nothing.
No, I don't think she was in the car. I think but they didn't really say that, but I think that I think if she had, she probably would have been, she would have got banged up. It looked like they just absolutely got crushed. But I didn't explain that too well about what happened. Why,
Right. Excuse me.
But I guess what the main thing was, what they got over was the parents were killed together in a crash, and
Right.
it was sudden, and
Very.
and then and of course there's grief, there's grief there. You see him, he's sitting in front of his house, and where were they at? Where was he at when he broke down? Was he in front of his house, or
I don't know, because I don't even know whose car it
house?
is, because they have a van later on, and that's a Toyota
It looked like he just sort of stopped at an intersection or like
parking lot, or
just stopped somewhere and broke down. It didn't seem like he was at home to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we pick up the story 3 months later.
Yes. And Becca is sleeping in Ethan's room on the floor because she don't want to be left alone, which, he's so little. Poor baby.
She did, she did a really nice job. I mean, she was a child actress. She was great.
She was in that new Children of the Corn movie, and that one's crazy. I've seen so far. It's pretty neat.
I actually, we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but I mean, top to bottom, man, this is another really strong cast.
And they're all young, which I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's hope for the future actors. They can act too. It's just not all Meryl Streeps out there.
That's right. Not all Toni Collette's out there.
That's right. So Ethan yells for Matt to get up because, like I said, he's a sleepy teenager and he's depressed. And Ethan's got a job at Radio Shack, or where is he? I don't know where he's working. He can work on stuff. He's got parts.
There's a couple of places like that around here. They're just like surplus. You just go dig through shit and find treasure everywhere.
Neat.
Well, the one thing we got, it was clear too, is that he had to withdraw from school. He had to drop school to come take care of his family. So he assumed responsibilities. He got the job at the electronics store, and he was basically became the parent. Making though they were eating out more than they were cooking, but
Yeah.
based
Yeah.
on
Living on pizza.
It also seemed to me like they were all in different. They were at different levels of the grieving process. Like, to me, it seemed like Matt was taking it worse than the other two, and they were just kind of more like in the, oh, okay, we got to keep going. Let's keep moving on. That's just what I got from that.
Right. He seems bummed, yeah, for sure. And he can't sleep. It's at them teenage years. They
Yeah,
suck anyway, and then you don't have your parents
I think
on
that's
top
what
of
I
it.
think that's what it was. It's sort of like that teenage angst, is just sort of like multiplied because of the loss of his parents.
Right.
But he didn't really, he had his moment against his brother, about him not being there. But overall, I mean, he was hurting big. And, but he was, like he was very, very careful around his sister. He loved his sister, protected her. Like he didn't say anything, like you expect some snarky comments about him sleeping in the other brother's room after 3 months. No, he totally understood it. He understood it. He's like he's down with it. He definitely is having a hard time sleeping and a hard time getting up. Um, but he still, he's when he was asked to do chores, like watch over his sister and whatnot, he didn't. Matt did it. When Ethan asked him, whatever Ethan asked him to do, Matt was willing to do it. He
didn't hesitate. He asked him.
I really enjoyed his character. I thought it was a really refreshing change of pace to make a young teen actually, it's okay for him to be normal and be human, instead of being, a lot of times you're right, Ben, you get that stereotypical, rebellious teen striking out, rah, 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 and it didn't do that. And I appreciated that because we could see the different levels of grief, and we could see with Matt that he was suffering the most.
Right.
Yep.
And then the teachers coming out and meeting him. She's not interacting, and it's like, we don't need your help. So he kind of lashes out or whatever at the teacher a little bit, but he doesn't understand. She's just trying to help.
Yeah, I think you get the impression that he just wanted to get back to the house. That's the really impression you got from that. It wasn't like he was. I don't think he was doing it on a personal level. He was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, and then he just wanted to get back to the house.
That's kind of what I thought too. Like he was just sort of like in a rush and distracted. But then later on, he says he wasn't very nice to her, but he was a little, dismissive, whatever, but not exactly not nice.
No, he's definitely a dick.
Well, I didn't think he was a dick. He just said,
I just thought he could have, he could have just, he could have said, thank you for letting me know, or and we could talk later or something. But he was just like ran out there and says, okay, no, I don't need your help, and dismissed her.
I kind of felt like it's like the position he was put in about having to basically be the parent now, and he wasn't really ready for that. And so I think just the whole pressures of all of that and trying to keep everything together at home, just like when you hear somebody saying, hey, blah, blah, trying to get advice, he's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm just, he's like tunnel vision. Like, I got to get back home. I picked him up, taking him home. I got to get everybody fed. You know what I mean? He like,
but he wanted to, he's independent too. And he wants to take care of them. But yeah, he could have been a little bit nicer, but it's okay. It's understandable. Says he goes into the workshop and finds some parts. Matt is late again getting up. Like,
Yeah.
didn't he go to his shop and he picked up some parts?
He did.
He had like a box delivered to him at first.
Okay. And that's like, he's like, how can you like work on that? Because last time you did, our parents got in a car accident. You got to watch. You don't know what's going on there.
Well, that was the day he went home early and was working on the thing because
Right.
he didn't pick him up on time from the swim meet. I think
Right.
Yeah.
that was
You
when
got
Matt got upset with him because
As
he
he
saw
should.
what he'd been working on at home.
Yeah. As he was allowed to. He definitely was allowed to have a little bit of a spark against it.
Yeah, he just wanted to turn it back on, see what, if he could work on it a little bit. Put some new parts in there. But
And
yeah,
you know,
get him
Ethan, Ethan was sort of he was sort of shut down to, he was so focused on, taking care of his, his brother and sister. He was a little bit tunnel vision, not only with the teacher, but also with Hannah. There was times where he was talking to Becca, and then Hannah called, and he said he'd get that later, and he was pushing her away a little bit as well. He was keeping his distance from Hannah as well.
Yeah.
It felt like he totally pushed her away, to me at least. Like they didn't have much of a relationship at all after he left school, is how it felt.
right.
Yeah.
Once he stopped working on that machine, that was it.
Yeah.
Well, Matt's pissed off. He's like, apologize, for being late because he worked on the machine, and he apologizes, and that's where he was saying, like, maybe you shouldn't be because you never know what could happen. And then he tells Becca to go take a bath, which that's her alone time too. His is the shop, hers is the bath for her to hold her breath
Mm-hmm.
for swimming.
And Matt's is Call of Duty.
Yeah, his escape pod. Ours is movies.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. I won't deny you that. I thought that it was I did think it was really cute that Becca was in the bathtub and she was practicing holding her breath. She had a little stopwatch there, and she was pinching her nose, and it was pretty freaking adorable actually.
It reminded me of Christina Ricci in Mermaids.
Did she do the same thing?
Yeah, Winona's watching her or something. Winona Ryder's her sister.
And then you're right. She's but Matt is then all of a sudden Matt actually picks up he picks up. I think he was sensitive to everything, the most sensitive, because even though that Becca was the first one to start talking to a spirit in the house, Matt was there picking it up. He heard it, and again, instead of coming in there and being a typical middle-aged middle brother, he came in there and he was taking it seriously from the beginning. From the very beginning, he's like, "That's not right,"
because he turned the machine on and then she got in a bathtub.
Well, I mean, remember he heard her talking. He was he was playing this game and he could hear her talking. It's like, who are you talking to? And that's when she said mom and dad. And then he was like, whoa, he didn't, he's like, okay, and he believed it. He believed he was open to that suggestion. And
did he see something in the bedroom or not?
Yeah, he was in the parents' bedroom and he was looking in the mirror and it was writing on the wall. It said, "We are here."
Right. That's what I missed.
When he turned around, it wasn't there.
I turned my head for.
Yeah.
In the way that Becca mentioned it, because even though Matt saw that, but when he was talking to Becca, it's like, well, can I see mom and dad? Well, why aren't they talking to me? And she said, well, you're not ready yet, so you're not ready for that yet. So they were looking out for him as well, and because that'd be sort of a heavy thing to see, even as a 15-year-old, to see your mom and dad come back and talk to you as a spirit.
Well, she was also saying like someone was spying on her in the bathtub.
Yeah, yeah. She thought it was Matt, and you notice that Ethan really didn't react to that. Like he didn't jump down on him. Like he knew Matt a little bit better than that. And I thought that was a really nice touch, subtle, very subtle. This movie has a lot of subtleness to it. You know,
The date that kept changing on the calendar.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
says she went to change the calendar, and who did that?
Hmm.
That's my thing that Mom and I do together. And it was already done.
And then that's about the time where Ethan still tries to run the machine, and he just can't get past the breakers. He can't get enough power. And right before that, we meet his neighbor uh, named Tom, and Tom happens to be a power worker. He works for a power company, and and we meet Tom, and he's right away you saw Tom, you knew something was off with him. Like there was a and we it turned out it was
Definitely sadness there.
yeah, I picked up right away. He was tremendously sad. Um and but you don't know anything other than that. But you don't know anything other than he's just their neighbor and he's been looking out for him and whatnot. And so they talk to Tom, and then Ethan gets the idea of, I need more power. What can I do? And he looks up and sees Tom. And he goes, I got an idea. Um,
I mean,
and
Tom, like the first time we meet Tom is when he's talking to him, right? And he says, he's like consoling him, and he's talking about when his wife died. So we do know like the source of his sadness, right?
yeah, you're right. Um, he was really strong as well. I thought he would give a really good performance. His name is Robert B. Kennedy, and that's the first
Who
time
Tom is?
Yeah, I thought that I really liked, every character in this movie is extremely likable. That's the thing. There's not a single person here. There's quite honestly, just put it like this. There's no, I mean, there's no physical bad guy. There's no bad guy in this movie. Um, Even though there's some actions that happen, but they're not necessarily done by a bad guy. Um, and in fact, it's rather emotional, to tell you the truth. Um, but Tom comes over there and talks to Ethan, and then they come back, and he's still looking for more power. Um, Matt and Becca are still seeing manifestations. They're you know and Matt and Becca both tell Ethan about it, and
Right.
again, Ethan accepts it. He didn't come like, oh, shut the hell up, or you don't know what you're talking about. The stuff you normally would see in a movie. He's just sitting there going like, okay, that's, like he's almost like, what, they could be onto something here. And it's like, and then because Ethan was the last one to see the manifestation,
Yep.
and that was a good scene too. That was a good scene.
Yeah, he showed Rebecca how to turn it on. I guess he put some updates on it.
Yes.
Some
Yeah.
flick switches instead of turning knobs.
Yeah.
No more toggles.
He's fine tuning the machine as he's going on.
But he goes and doesn't he? He leaves it on or something, and then he goes and visits Hannah to talk to her about the machine.
Well, the kids turned it on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's right. That's right,
Yeah,
because
the kids are
he
on.
showed her, so Matt wanted to. She's like,
Yeah, Matt didn't know how to turn it on, and Becca said, "That's not how you turn it on."
yeah,
And sat down there
step
and turned
back.
it on. Yeah, get out of the way, rookie. Let me
Yeah.
show you how it's done. So yeah, they turned it on, and and then you're right, and Ethan doesn't really have a really good meeting with Hannah either. He's still
Right. She's the one that's like, huh? You're seeing stuff. You're losing your mind. Maybe you should see a doctor or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had to have at least one skeptic in the movie. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know if it would have been good to have every single person as soon as you tell them that, yeah, I saw a spirit.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, all right, let's go. Then we'd be watching Ghostbusters. But but but
No.
I liked her response to it is like incredulous. Not completely dismissive, but incredulous. Like, I don't know. Um, but I liked how Ethan discovered it though. Ethan discovered the entities in the house as well, and I do believe the first entities were the parents. But like I said, I don't think they were strong enough to defend the family against the older spirits that were coming. I don't think they were strong enough because they're just newly dead. But they do
But who's the
show.
ones that are playing with the doll? Because he gets home and they're throwing the doll
Well,
back and forth. Like,
well, yeah.
I
Well,
don't think
Alice.
that's them.
I think it would have been Alice first. That's who Becca started talking to. Then I think it would have been Tom's wife after that, and then it would have been Henry. Um, I mean, let's see, it would have been Alice, then Henry, then Tom's wife Karen, and then the parents. As far as how long the spirits have been there, from oldest to youngest.
I mean, I got the feeling that the parents were never there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
thought it
think they
was
were there
just
at all.
Alice and
I got
Henry the
I
whole
got the
time,
feeling the
pretty much.
parents are there with the calendar and the toolbox. The toolbox.
Yeah, but they were just like, trying to trick him into getting more power into that machine.
Yeah,
So
juice it up so
I
we can
think,
get
yeah, I
out
think
there
it
and be
was his way of,
spooky.
I'll make them think it's their parents, and they'll do this to allow me to come back and have more power, basically.
especially because
Mhm.
like the whole like our house, it was like really geographic locations for the ghosts, right? Like they were in a specific place and his parents didn't die in that house.
No,
Why?
but I mean, but the toolbox it has special meaning. It was it was special to his dad.
Yeah, but
You know,
Henry's been in that house the whole fucking time. I mean, he saw
Right.
every interaction between his dad and him.
I was thinking it was his way of tricking them, like into thinking, oh, it's our parents. It's got to be our parents.
So then they could get Becca.
I thought it was just their way because they were limited in what they could do and how they communicate. I thought that was like the only way they had. Like the little manifestations on the calendar and the toolbox.
Maybe.
I
Residuals.
Moving
Yeah.
a toolbox is like no small task for a ghost.
Right.
You know, that's
He'd be
like
like,
that's about as good as you
Patrick,
can get as a ghost, moving a big ass heavy box.
that's it.
Well,
Like
well,
Patrick
remember they showed
Swayze.
Ethan too. They showed Ethan Alice when they were laughing in the living room, and Ethan comes in there, and there's Alice's doll floating in the air.
Right.
Look at that, isn't that neat? And they're both laughing about it because it's like it was like wow, that's something you don't see every day.
I mean, I felt like they were laughing, but they were just joyful that they thought their parents were there. Is
Right.
how I felt.
Because then she was like, Mom says we need to make the signal stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, she does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Devil, the devil. Devil demon.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Up to no good.
It's like, but if there's a way that I can talk to Mom and Dad, I'm gonna try. That's what Ethan was like. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep trying.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking, yeah, you're right. Look at that damn thing floating. I'm seeing what you're seeing now. And that's when Tom comes over and boosts all the shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something illegally with the electric system there.
He had the know-how, to do that.
Right.
And yeah, once they got that extra power, things really started picking up. Really started picking up as far as what was going on in the house.
Yeah, and he can't have any electric going. They have candles everywhere because he wants to use all the power for the machine.
Oh yeah, like each circuit for a house has a certain amount of amps that can flow through it.
Yeah.
But the thing he was being limited by was the circuit breaker, which is a safety thing. So if you jump the breaker, then you can still utilize all the amperage that can come into your house, but it's dangerous.
Good thing Tom did it.
Still dangerous.
Yeah.
But,
And let's see, yeah. And then his friend, Matt's friend, comes over to play some games. And
Yeah, he's pretty skeptical too.
yeah, a little bit. He finds out though.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
He was like, "Oh, sure, your parents are here. Where are they at? Let's see them. Prove
Yeah.
it." Like the
Yeah.
machine's off, so I don't think they're gonna be around. I think I'm gonna go take a leak, right? That's what he was saying. And it's famous
Now,
last words.
I think that entity in the house, that was Karen. That because that was a female,
Right.
and I think that's I think that was before we knew, but that means looking back at it, I think that was Karen, that was Tom's wife that was in the house, because she was an adult woman. It wasn't a child. It wasn't Alice's.
Well, she's supposed to look like his wife, the form
Right.
of her.
Yeah, because Alice would have appeared as a small child, and
Right.
yeah, which is interesting. I thought it was interesting because it took a while for Henry to manifest. It took him the longest in actuality, as
Well,
far as physically forming.
I think that there's I mean, that could have been Henry wearing a dress or a spirit dress, or whatever. But
Whatever form he wanted to take
yeah, I got the feeling
to
like
convince him.
he didn't want to tip his hand until he could actually have something actionable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just after the story rolled on a little bit, I just thought that it made more sense, because to me it would have been, if you would have just appeared as just a little girl, but that didn't happen. I just thought, if why pussyfoot around with your gender when whatever you pop in as, you're gonna scare the shit out of whoever it is. I think if he just would have showed himself, that would have been enough. But I think what happens, what this does is establishes that the field it's the first time we see that the machine is expanding its range. Now it's drawing other entities to the area. Because more power, more attraction. The bigger the gap between the life and death. And I just thought that was Karen at first. That's the reason why he got freaked out so much.
We don't actually even know if Karen was there, because Karen, or
No.
whatever spirit was, in his house that he was associating with, attacked him, right? So
Beats his ass up.
why would she do that if that was his wife, or whatever?
Well, I remember. I mean, she was unhappy. She was unhappy, and that's the reason why she ended up where she was. She was a very unhappy person. So I'm sure that, her coming back, I'm sure her mood was not going to be as nearly as open and friendly as Alice's was. I mean, Alice is sitting there talking to Becca, and I still think it was the dad. I still think it was the dad, with the mom with the calendar in the toolbox. But I still, I just think that Karen would have had issues. She would have been angry. She would have been, she wouldn't have been a kind spirit, because she went out by her own hand.
Well, see, I took from when they went to talk to the neighbor Marie that was pretty much letting you know these spirits that they thought were their parents, or that Tom thought was his wife, was in actuality Alice or Henry. And so that was the light bulb moment for them, because she was saying, they were the ones who lived in that house previously.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I mean, when he goes to break into Tom's house, and he tells him, "That's not your wife." Like, he thinks it's his wife. He said, "That's not your wife." So I got the impression that,
you think you're
you know,
seeing.
they were just seeing what they wanted to see. Like he wanted it to be his wife. They wanted it to be their parents, but it wasn't.
But yeah.
Because the Tom came over that night and asked him what the hell's your
Oh
machine?
yeah. He
do?
came over. He was, he was.
He looked
He came
out.
over. Yeah, he says, "What are you? What are you doing?" And then he says, "Don't lie to me, because now he's seeing what they're seeing." And,
Mm-hmm.
and Ethan told him, and I, and hopefully, that would, yeah,
Yeah, that's
that was,
when he says that she killed herself in his house,
yeah.
his own house.
He,
So
he
it's
never thought that she went away. He says, "I always knew she was with me."
so he thinks.
Hmm.
Right. And let's see here. Ethan's Alice lives with you. Oh yeah, the teacher was like, who's this Alice? Like, she have a
Oh,
friend that you have somebody that lives with you? That's what the teacher was asking.
right.
About the little girl's friend. He's like, no. Said Alice is hiding. She's afraid of Henry. Is
Hmm.
what Becca's saying. Like, she's hiding from that guy. He's, for some reason, and that's when, Hannah came over and they went and found out that the neighbor knew the people that lived there, the Henry and Alice. Like, she disappeared.
And while they were talking to that lady, Becca and Matt were holding off. Becca, that one moment in the bathtub.
Mm.
Man, that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was pretty intense.
Yeah, she was trying to make her minute.
Yeah. Well, she had two pretty intense moments, as far as I was concerned. She had
Yeah,
that.
they that's
She had
right,
that
because
one
it did
first.
push her to under once, right?
Yeah,
Held her
push
under
her
for a
under.
while. It's like,
Yeah,
why?
that's what she said. She says, "Why'd you do that?"
Just
Because I think
Henry, right?
I don't know. I mean, because if we think about it, it could have been Alice. Like, why'd you do that? Like, it was somebody she knew. Why would you do something like that to me? I thought we were friends. I thought we were close. I thought, I think it would have been Henry. I think it would have been just like straight out, like, who the hell are you? You know. But
This one was different. Like, it held her down for a
yeah,
long period of time.
definitely Henry. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like one of the first of the two moments that really were they were very jarring for the movie, and that one, and then when she she's chased around the doll, she's chased around the Raggedy Ann.
Yeah, she's seen it by the refrigerator. That was
Mhm.
creepy.
That was creepy. That doll was creepy. Doll horror is something else. It is. Yeah, it's something else. Doll horror is like, it's when it's done right, it's very, very effective.
And
It's very,
she
very
went
creepy.
down. Did she go in the basement?
Yeah, she
Down
went
the
down to the
basement.
basement. She was
She
chasing
follows it. Yeah.
yeah, she was following it
Lifted some metal lid, like,
to that.
and found the doll, and something pulled her in.
Yes, and that was the
And
second moment. Now I was like, whoa, like, what the hell?
Matt
'Cause-
hears her and
mhm.
screaming, and he can't find her.
And again, it shows how his sensitivity, though, because as soon as her very first scream rolls, he's already he's looking for it. He's not just
It's
laying
good.
back.
Right?
Yeah, he's a
He had
very good.
headphones on too.
Yeah, and he still heard her. And she had a great little scream, didn't she? I don't
Yeah.
know if that
Well,
was her
the
scream or
girls
not.
can hit those pitches. Ooh.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if that was her scream or not. It sounded like her, but I was thinking that too. I was thinking, like, for a little girl, that girl's got some lungs on her. It
Glass
was
breakers.
yeah, that was it was like you expected to be dubbed in, right? But no, I think that really was her, and she had a really good scream.
So the Hannah and Ethan come running from across the street. I guess they hear something going on. I don't know, but everybody's trying to find Becca, And Ethan's like, where the hell's my machine? And I don't know how he figured out it was over at Tom's house. Whoa, you sideways. What happened to you? You
Well,
see Patrick? He's like,
I guess he
I got
just
both.
assumed he's like he had showed it to Tom, so he's like he's the only other person that knew that it was there.
I guess, yeah. I was like, who else would have took it? I guess, and Hannah and Matt go downstairs, and they're like beating on walls, and they found a doorway or something. I don't know how you wouldn't have found these things before. Like the girl's missing. The police didn't check very good, did they?
Well, you know, and you know, it's funny because you know, let Matt and Hannah went to get Becca, and then you know, and
Ethan
you know,
went to get the machine.
yeah, and he saw the machine was gone.
Tom swiped it.
Yeah, yeah,
He wants to be with his wife. He doesn't want the machine turned off.
no.
Well, Becca
I
gets
had a hard
grabbed in
time.
that room. She comes out of the box and then she's pulled into some room.
Yeah, she got pulled into that hallway underneath the house. You know, they said that where, you know, the historian was telling Hannah and Ethan about what, you know, about the history of the house, saying, you know, that was her foster child, and then she disappeared, and the police never found her. You know, no one ever found her. That was it. And we find out why, because she was held a prisoner in that underground cavern.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't know exactly how long ago that happened with, so we don't know. You know, was it recent? It sounded like it had been there for a while. It sounded like it happened, you know, like a long time ago.
Right.
You know, we don't know if it was before the house was sold to Ethan and his family, or even before that, or predate before that.
Yeah, because the neighbor's pretty old herself.
Yeah.
And the little girl, I think, was about her age.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, probably 60 years.
Yeah, I got that. I got that feeling about that.
They cracked the door open, and Matt's going down, crawling, getting down in that hole to get to his sister's, and she's stuck in a corner like Blair Witch.
Right. You know what? It's like, you know, think about that. You know, it's like he charged down there. He was pretty damn fearless. You know, he really was.
Well, you got my sister. You better watch out.
Yeah, he was. He didn't sit there and like, you know, like Ethan, you know, like he wasn't screaming for his big brother. He was just like, let's go, let's you know, let's go. And then you know, he went down there to go get his sister. And you know,
it took him a while to get through that fucking tunnel, though, dude. If you're truly trying to get your sister, you're like going through. You're not like all, you know, taking your sweet ass time.
could be snakes.
I guess it's just the unknown of what's on the other end of this tunnel. Yeah. He was a little bit leery about it.
It's got to be half of you's got to be sitting there going like, all right, I'm not rushing into this, but every time she screams, it's like, oh shit, I got to hurry my ass down there. So it's like you're torn between, you know, like I want to go down there, yet, you know, because your natural feeling would be, you know, of caution and fear of the unknown, and you're not going to be wanting to run down that down that.
I would have brought a weapon, but it would have been. That's me. Not just a phone, something, a hammer. Something's coming with me.
I know. I know. Ben would have been whistling for the boys. That's for sure.
I think when you're in those situations, like you're not really thinking, you just react the way that your character allows you to react. So like if he was going to go to save his sister, then he's going to go to save his sister and not be all cautious. And if he's going to be all cautious, then he's going to be just stay outside and whatever. So it felt a little weird that he was just like so slow getting in there and was still going, you know?
Man, they had minutes to draw out towards the end. They had to stretch the movie a little bit longer. Just a little bit.
Of course, Ethan, you know, he grabbed the, you know, he went over there, couldn't get inside Tom's house, went back to his garage, grabbed the baseball bat, and then he went back over there to break in the house. I got to tell you, I'll be honest with you, man. That last scene with Tom and with Tom and Ethan, man, it was emotional. because I definitely was in Tom's shoes. I really was in his shoes. I totally got what he was feeling, and the sadness in his face and what he was feeling. I totally
And
got
what
it.
you would have done to try to keep
Yeah, yeah.
the
I would have did it.
presence there.
I would have did the same thing.
Right. Right. Plus, he's teenage kid going to tell me I'm going to have this running so I can see my wife.
Yeah, he just, like I said, he wasn't a bad man at all. He was, he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't, he wasn't looking to hurt anybody. He just wanted his wife back, and I
He was
totally
in
feel like
mourning.
him. Yeah, and so watching, I really like the idea that yes, that I sort of wish they hadn't done that. Where it showed Ethan hitting them in the head. I wish they hadn't have done that, but overall, I like the physical scene they had between the two of them. Like, Tom's just like he's not looking to hurt Ethan at all. He didn't throw a single punch at him. He was grabbing him and he was trying to tackle him. He was trying to get him out of the house.
I
But he
think he's trying
wasn't
to keep him from swinging that bat at the machine, mostly.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wasn't trying to hurt him. He was just trying to protect what he thought he was seeing, what he was experiencing. And
He says you can't go back, Tom. You can't go back.
no, you can't.
You got to go forward.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
But I thought the scene between Ethan and Tom, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well done. Yeah.
And the entity or whatever has got Matt and Becca in the room, and Hannah's coming now, but then they hold her down.
Right.
So it's up to Ethan, like you were saying. He's telling him it's not her.
Yeah.
We got to destroy this. It's gonna kill
Everybody.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
We got to do this.
Yeah. And as soon as he says that, he relents. He's like, it comes to his senses. He realizes this is bigger than just him. So
right, and that's when the figure takes Tom down the stairs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It looks.
You're not defending me no more. I'm gonna drag you somewhere.
How many? At the end of my analogy, I think how many entities were there, because you had at least 3 that were holding Hannah, Becca, and Matt. Then you had the
who were these dark entities? Like what?
Yeah.
I got the feeling like that was all Henry. Just he was.
Yeah, I think it was just he becomes so powerful from that thing running, him increasing the power, that I think it was just all him. Seemed like.
So then Ethan smashes the shit out of the machine with a bat, and the entities disappear. Just
he felt
everybody.
He felt really bad for Ethan too. You really did. I mean, he felt just horrendous for the kid, because that was his future. That was what he was planning to do. If the machine would have did what he wanted it, he would have been, the next Elon Musk. He would have been a trillionaire. But and all that hard work and effort, and you can see his frustration too, because he hit that thing to that machine wasn't coming back. You're not MacGyvering that.
Duct tape. Some duct tape.
Yeah, I got some bubble gum and some baling wire. I can fix this. not this one. Yeah, not
real
this
glue.
One. Yeah.
So Becca wakes up and everybody's together, and Tom he's on the stairs, beat up a little bit. She dragged him down there, I guess. And they're all hugging in the yard. I felt bad for Tom right then, though.
You know what? I did too. Oh my God!
Like, get in here.
I thought the same thing, Mary. When I sit there, I'm going like, I saw that, and I'm going like, man, they should have hugged Tom too. He needed a big hug.
Yeah,
I was
with
you on that. I was with you on that. I was sitting there, I'm like, man, I was just
walked
like,
away all sad, like, now I'm alone again.
Yeah, I really wish. Yeah, they should have embraced him. That would have been a nice touch.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
why I was like back to lonely, I guess, for
Mm.
Tom.
they're just like teenagers and whatnot and younger. Like, you know, he came into their house, stole their fucking thing, and caused all havoc. Like, you're not going to be like,
Yeah, but
hey,
he
get
boosted
in
their
here,
electric
dude.
farm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but he did it for all the right reasons, though. You know,
But
he did it,
when
and without Tom's contribution, you know, they would have never discovered that. You know, he was trying to help him. He was trying to help Ethan, you know, realize what the machine could do. He didn't know at the time what the entities. He was just trying to help Ethan, you know, achieve his goal of making that light bulb pop up.
when you're young, you don't have the same perspective that you have as a person. Like, you know, like I just if I mean, how old do you think the older son was? Like maybe like 19, 20? Like,
I was thinking 2021.
I mean, you think he has the perspective to be like, sure, that dude fucking like almost got my whole family killed and like stole my shit and made me destroy it and blah blah blah. But get in here, you know, like
Yeah.
no, he's pissed, dude. And the dude like attacked him and like
Well, at the end when they drive away and they see Tom there, they each nodded to each other, you know, as a sign of respect. You know, he did nod at him. He did acknowledge him. Tom, you know, Tom was sitting there watching him, and he
Yeah.
did acknowledge Tom. You
I
know,
think the look. I think that look they shared was more or less them saying, "Okay, we're able to move on from this grief and
Right.
stuff now.
yeah, he didn't
That's right.
got
He
know
can go
that-
forward.
You know, yeah, we can move forward with our lives.
Yeah.
Still not going to be, you know, there may still be sadness and stuff there, but I guess maybe they finally realize it's time to move on. You know."
Right. The Packers bring out the doll, right?
Mm-hmm.
The creepy doll that was Alice's doll.
Alice's doll.
The peekaboo dolly.
Yeah, and you know it shows them, you know, they sold the house and now they're moving to another house. Hannah's now gonna be, looks like she's gonna be, her and Ethan or her and Ethan were gonna take things to the next level. You know, it seemed like more of a family unit now.
Right.
And at the end, you know, the end, I don't know. I thought the ending was a little strange for me.
With the doll? Was it like the vigil
Yeah,
all over again?
I really wasn't really. I couldn't. I was just sitting there going like, okay, is that because you know they had that little twinge of somewhat sinister type music, and I'm going like, okay, but is that Alice or is that Henry? You know,
Yeah, I thought Alice liked the doll.
I thought it was Alice.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Alice in that box.
I thought it didn't really. I thought it was. I could have done without it, to be honest. Like the very last end, it's just like the producers or some shit was just like, well, you know, what if just put something in, like it's a trope, you know, like
Yeah.
But it didn't really fit with the film.
Because I mean, when Becca took it back in the house, I took that as, I don't need this doll. We're moving on, and I'll leave it here.
That was like closure.
Yeah.
And
I
like
see
that.
it again. It's like, something's still around.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that forced. I hate that forced trope of sequel when you know pretty much, despite how good the movie's going to be, it most likely or not, it's not going to get a sequel. You know,
They did that. They did that in your the vigil. In the ending.
That was a badass ending.
You know, pretty much. Little ghosty.
That was a little badass ending.
Ghosty.
Yeah, I really like this movie. I really like this movie a lot. I was, you know, when Mary picked it, I was pretty ecstatic about it. It definitely took its time getting going for me, but once it did, once the motor got kicked in,
right,
I thought it was very effective and very good, and I thought the acting was above average.
Yeah, I really liked the kids in it a lot. They did so good. Even the extras were good. The Tom and
his friend, his video game friend. That was
look on his face when he seen that.
A lot of little quirks, you know, like you know, Ethan telling Tom he would need a little bit more jiggle eyes before he can make the machine go. You know, a little nod to Back to the Future. The two Wilhelm screams in the movie. I thought that was a really nice touch. Um, I thought the score was really good. Like you said, the location was, the house was interesting.
Yeah, I like the house.
Yeah, I like the house a lot.
I liked the whole neighborhood,
Hmm.
the whole area. Beautiful.
Did remind me of the Harvest a lot. The neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. But I do miss the trees down here. Like I said, we don't get fall. Well, it's like the trees throw up. They throw all their leaves off at once. There's no change. It just goes from green to brown, and they're all over the yard. That's if you're
So,
lucky enough to have a regular tree. We mostly have a lot of
well,
palm trees.
what did Ben and what did you think, Ben and Haas? What was your final impressions of the film?
I like the movie. I went in not knowing anything about it.
Me too.
But I think like if it had been like really pumped up, then I could have been disappointed with it. But as going in not knowing anything, like I was pretty much just initially engaged in the story. And I like stories where it's like dealing with the edge of science and mysticism. To me, it's an interesting concept. So I was on board. But I think there's a potential for overhype, just given, if someone said this movie is like super kick ass and blah, 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 then I might have been disappointed, but I went in with no expectations and enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I went into it, because I hadn't seen it before when I did, and I was just so pleasantly surprised by what I saw.
Me too. That's what I was going to say.
That's
Pleasant.
really, yeah, it was such a pleasant surprise. And you're right. I mean, it's like, it's a really good movie, but it's not one of those where you're going to be jumping up and down about it. Like, yeah, it's just going to be like, if you like good film, you like good filmmaking, and you like good acting, then this is a movie for you. And it has science fiction and horror elements into it. I mean, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not really into the ghost movies because they usually are, yeah. But I really like this one. It's
I was
sort of
like, I was almost under the impression that it was not really a horror movie at all when I watched it.
You know what? I really, I didn't think. You're right. I mean, it could go either way. It could be a horror film, or it could just be almost like Relic. An allegorical tale of grief, because you see the different levels of grief among the four main characters. You can see that.
I had expected. I didn't expect it to be as much of a horror film as it was, I guess.
Yeah.
How about you, Hop?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I think the cast was good in this, and they all did a good job, and you definitely felt empathy for the characters, and just this feeling of you felt like there was a resolution. They were able to bond together even without their parents being there. They were able to get over this grief by the end, and you saw, at least it seemed like there was going to be a happy ending for them, and that was good to see. And the whole malevolent force thing, I mean, it was good. Definitely there were some moments there. It definitely set the mood, and you kind of got those moments. But I think overall, just the story of the family sticking together and doing whatever they could to help out with that.
That's what I like.
Stuck out to me, yeah.
Yeah, they stuck together, and they didn't bail on each other. They helped each other as best they could, as being kids. And yeah, you could feel their pain. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's very, very happy.
What's really interesting about this movie too is the director was Anthony Scott Burns, and he's no stranger to IFC Midnight because he did
Didn't
the
you
music.
say he did the other one I did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did the music for Come True,
Yeah,
and so that was
that
cool.
one was different.
That's right. That was fun. That was a fun movie.
It was different.
Yeah, definitely different. Definitely different. Um, as far as his directing goes, he's uh, he did the Come True. He did Our House, and I think he also had a segment in a movie called Holidays, which is also that's a
I've
really
seen that one. I
Yeah, I've seen
saw it.
that one.
Which
Have you?
segment did he do?
he did Father's Day.
Okay.
I liked Easter, and I liked Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve. Those were the
I mean,
I thought-
Easter is pretty much the winner of that movie.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Christmas Eve's not that bad either, and neither is New Year's Eve. They're right close by, right with it. But Easter is definitely the winner. Definitely creepy as hell. That was creepy. This was actually based and remade off a movie in 2010 called Ghost in the Machine,
Yeah, I
which
saw
was
that.
which was directed by Matt Osterman. So it was really interesting to see a movie that quite honestly I don't think many of us have even heard about, and they went around and they remade it as remade another indie film. I thought that was actually an interesting choice.
It's
And it
weird
worked.
to make a movie so quickly, you know?
Yeah.
8 years. Yeah, it's not very long between. It's not very long between release. The other movie. It's like 2010, 2018. That's just like that's real close.
And I wonder if it was really a remake or just a retelling of the story, you know, like I don't really know the whole origin of either movie, but like sometimes you'll see multiple movies made on the same sort of initial subject materials.
Right.
Could have been that.
I have a feeling it was probably might have been remade. I mean, I would say it was probably reimagined. I can't imagine seeing it being remade like frame for frame. I just
No one does that except for the Psycho remake, dude.
yeah.
I mean, go on.
So should we rank this movie, or does anybody else have anything that any other trivia they want to share?
No, I don't really have any factoids on it.
No factoids.
Except for the kid was in the Halloween movie. He played
There you go.
Officer
And the
Hawkins.
girl was in Children of the Corn. So
Yeah.
she must have been. She was the little girl in the poster then.
I think
Yep.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, creepy.
Lead. Got
Yeah.
the lead.
I guess we come up for rankings. Mary, this is your movie. What would you rank it?
Because I like it so much. I got to say an 8 because I like it. And my husband liked it too. He watched it. He doesn't watch too many of the ones I like Come True and stuff. I think he watched See For Me.
Did he like that?
one too? But
Did he like
an
he liked that one too, didn't he?
yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay.
We aren't all werewolves within, but that one's top still. It's like a 9 to me.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen
Werewolves
Werewolves
Within? It's
Within?
good.
Oh, that's so much fun. That movie is fun.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a corker, all right. That's my
Mhm.
new favorite. That's my new favorite werewolf movie.
Okay.
I'd recommend it. Definitely a super
Yeah.
fun movie.
Yeah, that was
Right.
Based on a video game.
yeah. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
How about you, Haas? What would you rate this bad boy?
I'd say 8 would be a fair grade for it.
That's
And
high
like I said, it was definitely interesting and kept you involved with the characters and wanting to see it through to the end. So yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't what I expected either. Like, I don't know. You see the cover. It's. you don't
Yeah.
get away.
It's a lot gentler than a lot of horror films. You know, it has the scares, but it's not loud and abrasive and bloody and gory. It's you know,
Mhm.
and it really does focus on the family, you
Yep.
know, and how they deal with it. And like I said, I mentioned when Mary said that we were going to do this one. This is probably the closest thing you're going to get to a family film, and for an IFC movie, IFC Midnight movie
The
is this.
Harvest wasn't too harsh.
No, it
That one's
wasn't
a little calmer too, except for the harvesting of the.
of the organ.
Except for the whole harvest part. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get past that. It's family fun.
Yeah, get past that. It's Family Feud. Ben.
I would give it probably like a 7.5. I would undersell this to people so that if they watch it, then they'd
Right.
be like pleasantly surprised or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give it an 8 too. I mean, you know, that's just you know, it's right there. It's really good. It's solid. You know, I enjoyed it, and
Just that little part at the ending.
yeah, that ending was a little bit yeah, a little
Like
bit
Ben
of,
said, they could have done without that
we
shit.
could have done without that, but
I-
it's not going to cost it any points. But yeah, I'm
Right.
with you about that.
I think what would have been better, because you know it showed earlier on like pictures of their family with their mom and dad. I think if it would have been a end on a picture of the new family being, you know, him and his girlfriend and them, that would have been a better ending to
Mhm.
me, because it just shows like that they're going to be okay. You know, they
Right.
moved on and everything.
Because
Right.
Matt was like, "Did you check for the secret rooms
Yeah,
in the new house? Did you check yet?" No.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure there's no Hannibal Lecter pit in the backyard.
Mm.
Oh, that's right. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's going to be Ben's turn
Oh yeah, that's
to.
right.
I think so, isn't it, Hoss?
Is it hot? Okay, Haas, I guess you're up.
okay.
You get to pick out the next IFC.
Isn't it? Didn't I just went in October, right?
Let me see what.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
Because I know Haas did I thought Haas did November
He did the
with the
nest
den.
or the den. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. So I do, and I went in December, and then Mary went in January. Oh, no, we didn't do December. Yeah, so
December.
Mary went. I did November. I did November. Then Mary did in January. So I do believe Ben. Okay.
I still think it's Hoss. Hoss, don't you think it's you?
I'm good with whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Let's. Okay. It's Haas's turn. You have any idea what we're watching?
Well, I had actually thought about one that's, I guess it might be in a way similar to the last one I picked, but I wasn't sure if y'all had seen this one, but it's called Crow's Nest.
Okay, I remember you saying that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
We were talking about
it's a
devil's dolls or something too.
yeah, it's pretty good, as it says on there. Don't feed the locals, so you can take from that what you will. But
Nice.
I want to let you guys know right now that we just got entered the room by Jamie Hill. Jamie Hill is an actress, and we'll be talking to her at the end of January. But Jamie Hill is one of the stars of Skinnamarink.
Ooh,
okay,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
right.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I have not seen it yet. Am I the only one?
You have to see that.
I have not seen it.
Okay.
You still have not seen it either. Skinnamarink is a trippy movie. It's
I
awesome.
haven't seen it yet.
It's definitely a corker, that's for sure.
it's a divisive movie. A lot of people absolutely hate it, and a lot of people actually absolutely like it and respect it and have not watched the entire thing. So it's kind of a weird movie like that.
You just have to try and watch them yourself.
I personally
We do
can
the
say-
point system, but you really got to go out and just check these suckers out yourself. You can't go by.
I saw it in the theater. I didn't know anything about it. I went to watch Friday 13th Part 6,
Mm.
Alamo Draft House, and then the person I was with afterwards was like, let's watch another one, and she just like bought tickets online to the theater upstairs for Skinamarink. I was like, okay.
Cool.
I didn't know anything about it, but the fact that I was there sort of as a guest of someone definitely made it so that I wasn't going to walk out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a
You are
movie.
in.
It's a movie that it can be a challenging watch.
I can tell you right now, the boys liked it. The boys gave a claws up on it. We talked to them. I liked it. It made my top 20 list at the end of the year. My top 20 list definitely made it. I thought it was so interesting and different. And I tell people all the time that it has a story. There is a beginning, there is a middle, there's an end. It's not just experimental and just like hodgepodge. There is a story there. And I think, well, it's yeah, it takes a little time getting there, but the payout is worth it. It is worth it, because at the end you're going like, oh, I can see that now. I understand that now.
It's really like, I think the weird thing that happened with Skinamarink, it's I think most people who are like film connoisseurs or whatever can respect it, appreciate the I don't know, avant-gardeness of it and the love that the director showed for it. And because it got so much praise and then sort of got like a distribution source that was just straight up like horror people, right? At Shudder. Like, I think a lot of people had heard it was really good, so they went in thinking they were going to watch like this crazy horror movie, and it's not exactly a crazy horror movie,
Mhm.
It's definitely a different horror movie, that's for sure. I'm glad it wasn't a crazy horror movie.
It's certainly not a traditional horror movie.
No, definitely not. I'm sure Jamie has heard this too, but to me, what really reminds me, what Cinematic reminds me of more than anything else is the Eraserhead. Eraserhead's extremely decisive as well. It's like, what the hell am I watching? Oh, that's so badass. You got both sides of the fence there. That's my favorite David Lynch movie. Is the Eraserhead. I think it's so weird and so science fiction-y. It's so different. I've never seen anything like that before. And it opened the doors for me. That was a door opener. It's like I like this. I thought it was interesting. And then from then on, I could go in there and I could watch a Blair Witch Project, or I could watch a Crash, or watch a Schizophrenic. It was like, and appreciate it for what it's, for what the film's trying to do, what it's saying. So I like that weirdness.
It's just not a traditionally told narrative, and I think because it got so much hype and people were saying, and it was released through Shudder, which is just basically horror streaming.
Love Shudder.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to watch it and just like immediately be like, "This is not what I signed up for. I'm out." But I liked it personally.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm watching. I better go back to Scream 6, where because it's like swimming on a beach. It's like, do you go out there in the deep water and swim around, or do you stay where you stand still? You're still standing on your feet still in the water, standing on the beach. It's like,
that's me, 100%.
No.
Sharks,
oh
man.
my God, that's not even so true. That's not even true. You are. I think you're very adventuresome in your movie watching, Ben.
Yes, but when it comes to swimming in the ocean, fuck that.
Oh.
Yeah. Not an unknown out there.
I live in the Gulf, so I'm kind of a little bit better, I guess.
I guess I'm in the Great Lakes, so I guess I can't talk about sharks too much. But we do have some mean bass.
They got those teeth. And got a couple teeth in the front.
So Crow's Nest for next month.
What's your date on that?
That will be in February. Well, wait, let me ask you guys, since we missed December, we came back and we did this show early for December. Now, do you want to come back and do Crow's Nest on the 28th? We should do that on the 28th. Otherwise, we're going to be gone for almost 2 months.
No, 28, right?
28 sounds good to me. Haas, is that all right with you?
Okay.
January 28th.
Okay.
Okay. And then Ben will take over February, Valentine's Day. Oh my God, I can't wait to see what he pulls out for that. Oh yeah, that'll be epic. So we will be watching Crow's Nest. I believe that it's actually on Tubi as well. To those who might not know,
I think so.
Yeah, so you can watch that.
So we're doing January 28th or
January 28th at 8:00, and I'll make a banner for it. I'll make a banner for it and get it up.
That's
Okay.
the wrong month. Here we go. Okay. Now we got it.
Then Ben will have February, and then I'll be back in March.
Love, a movie of love for February.
Oh my God! I
My
can't
bloody
even
Valentine.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure. I can't even imagine. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, you know, if I didn't know about it, if we hadn't already covered it, I could see us covering Maniac all
Maniac. Part 2.
But whatever it is, whatever movie Ben picks, and we already know Haas's record already. Thanks to the Den who completely fucked us all up. That was such a great movie. That was such a great
We'll
movie.
never get out of the Den now.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's not true. I might have to unspring my my surprise for that. I think I might end up doing Bound for Vengeance. Then you guys can see the sequel to the Den, and be happy about it. That's a badass movie. That's all I
Down
got.
for Vengeance.
Down for Vengeance.
Oh, God.
It's wicked. It's wicked. All right, Mary, you want to go ahead and ask everybody what we're doing on our channels before we get out of here?
Sure. What you doing, Hoss? What you got? Movies.
Well, my last thing I did was a live stream right before New Year's, and I said I was going to try to focus on reviews this year. So that's my goal, to get some reviews pumped out there. So.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
And Ben, you've been 30 years clean.
Yeah, 30 years sober yesterday.
Yeah.
Awesome, Ben.
The
That's
big
awesome.
3-0. Fucking feel like an old dude every year.
When you
now.
say 30, it's like, wait,
dude.
wasn't that my age? Wait, how can it be 30 years?
I know. It
My
seems
goodness.
That's
it's
awesome.
out of
Your
control now.
age.
Yeah, congratulations. Did you pick up any? Did you pick up any new? Anything new to show to us before we get out of here? Any new figures?
I pre-ordered something super badass that is it's like a full-scale Tarman head display.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
brains.
I don't know when that'll be here, but that's going to be pretty dope.
Well, probably by the time, and again, I've been hearing rumors. Again that the Coast to Coast might be returning this year.
I mean, I would definitely stream with those dudes.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I miss you guys, man. I really do. I miss the five of you, man. It's so much fun. I hope you guys can bring it back together. I know David said that he would be down for it. I guess it's Cody and finding time for Cody, but I'm really hoping that you guys come back.
I think everyone's down for it. I think just like people are like, oh, what about this Friday? Oh, I got this thing to do. Okay, we'll do it. What about next Friday? Oh, I got this thing. So I think like it just, I think if someone just said, okay, well, fuck it, I guess you won't be here for this one, then other people would show up but it's just one of those.
I mean, you and David could probably lead it off. I'm sure you, David, and Phil could jump it off, and then then catch up with everybody else, Cody and John, if John's still around. I'm not sure John's still around, is he?
He's doing pretty well, but he's not really making YouTube videos anymore.
He doesn't need to do that. He still, to be part of the Coast to Coast, he still can just hang out.
Yeah, he's definitely still around. I've been seeing him a little more active on Instagram lately.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
made
Ooh,
creeper.
nice.
Oh,
Creeper.
very good.
It's a creeper.
I
And I
like it.
did that
Ooh.
Phoebe Cates Gremlins mashup picture.
Was it a Gremlins Fast Times at Ridgemont High mashup?
Yes, it was.
Ooh.
Okay.
You got him showing himself behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Got her song playing in the background. I got another mashup I'm making, but I'm not close to revealing it yet.
The only thing I got some more interviews this week. We're back running. We'll be interviewing actress Heather Fraley on Tuesday. Then we got
I missed I was there though at the end, but I missed
for
Bayview.
the Peter Castro. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this Friday coming up, we have Ray Murray from Cinephobia releasing. He'll be here on this Friday, and I'm very, very excited for that. That's a Grail guest. Peter, Ray Murray he's got an amazing eye, just absolutely fantastic, amazing eye. He did art exploitation. He ran art exploitation. He sold the company to Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber is now releasing the library of art exploitation. So if you're into Kino Lorber, I definitely would recommend you go in there and check out the art exploitation side of things. I don't know if they're calling it a partner label or whatever, but if you can find art exploitation movies there, I highly encourage you to check them out. They're top notch. Let's put it this way, they're definitely they're IFC level movies, and but for sure. Yeah.
I got this. It's not IFC, but I got all 8 films, and I have only seen like the last 2 or something. I've never seen Harry Potter.
Was that for Christmas?
Yeah.
Nice. That's a cool.
I wasn't sure if I mentioned it to you before, Patrick, but Vinegar Syndrome has started releasing IFC titles now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. They took over the distributorship from Screen Factory. How are the prices though? Are the prices stupid or are they pretty fair?
Well, yeah, they're about, you're looking to pay at least about $30 for most. That's on the low end.
That's
unless you catch it during the sales, but
yeah, that's absolutely way out of my budget, way out of it.
I really like those hard box releases they were doing for like Ticks and Summer of '84 and whatnot.
Yes.
Well, I like Ticks.
I wish they did.
That was my greatest fear as an IFC collector when I heard that Vinegar Syndrome was going to be distributing.
Now, if you don't want the slipcover, if that's not a big deal to you, you can save a little money by not getting that, but you're still going to roughly pay.
I don't care about
the 20 range, somewhere in there for it.
Vinegar Syndrome, they're always like, "Oh, this is like $50 marked down to like 30." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a bargain.
Yeah, that's like shopping at Kohl's. Kohl's does that shit all the time too. Yeah, and it's still marked up, way over. My wife she was a marketing major, and so she knew about that shit, and she's like, yeah, it's all horse shit. Yeah, that was my greatest fear with the IFC movies, was that Vinegar Syndrome was going to be charging them, extremely high like that. I mean, Screen Factory was bad enough, but I know Vinegar Syndrome was going to be even more. So it'll be just hunt and peck, like what I can find out in the wild. I can't afford those prices.
Yeah.
I mean, $30 for one movie. That's that's basically that's almost a year's worth of library for me.
Yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing at that library. I want to go get my library card soon too.
Yeah. And that's about it for me. As far as my channel goes, we got Well, I got Dell on movies coming out on Thursday, then Ray Murray on Friday on the 12th, and then Elizabeth Chamberlain will be here with us on Saturday at 3 p.m. She is the star of the new horror film called Grotesque. And so we'll be talking with Elizabeth on Saturday at 3 p.m.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that movie's on Tubi as well.
It sounded familiar, like I have checked it out or something.
Yeah, Tubi. It's just been
Love Tubi.
Tubi. Yeah. Well, we were talking about that real quick. We were talking about that with Peter Castro, and now they're saying that Tubi is almost in the same position as Amazon was a few years ago. When Amazon was first getting started in the movie business, they would buy any independent movie. They would get it. They were just looking to get any movies at all, and so they were, if you're an independent filmmaker, chances are you can sell your movie to Amazon and and get seen. But as Amazon got bigger and they got more selective, and then they started buying, they bought United Artists, they bought MGM, and soon that started going away. It's very hard to get a movie placed on Amazon Prime, and it's really hard to make money off of it. And Peter Castro said that Tubi is going to be going the same way. They're adding Warner Brothers movies to their playlist, and then they have various channels for Warner Brothers. They made a deal. In fact, when I went over there last time, I saw that Knives Out is out. It's playing on Tubi. And I was like, "What? that's still
Oh
a pretty
yeah, I
big,
saw that too.
yeah." I was like, "That's
gotta
still pretty." It's
Watch
still
that
really,
again. Try to
I
watch
know
it
it's a
again.
couple. I know it's a couple years old, but it's still a major movie that you expect to see on Warner Brothers or Peacock. You're not expecting to see it for
Right.
free. So, but that's just he's just saying that independent filmmakers are gonna be, pretty soon they're gonna start struggling to get to place their movies with Tubi, which I really hope it isn't the case, because we really need a place like Tubi, but such it as it is. All right, well, that's it for me. I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up, and we will be back here on January 28th on Haas's channel. Haas will be our host next on the 28th, and we will be watching Crow's Nest. I'm sure it's gonna be. I'm sure if it's anything like The Den, I'm sure it's gonna be a corker. Yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for the support, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye. Boy, guys. Thank you. That was fun.
It was
Yep.
fun. I really like that movie, Mary.
Yeah, me too. It made me and my husband tear up.
Yeah, I did too. I gotta get us out of here. I got froze.
See,
Yeah, I got froze. I was like,
Sorry.
oh.
he's upside down. There.
Okay, there we go. Ta-da!